based upon information they consider reliable, but neither ZBC nor its shareholder nor its affiliates warrant their completeness or accuracy, and they should not be relied upon as such.
So whatever my mind can see, that I will achieve, because I do the things I should, to my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now, I'll keep moving on.
The views and opinions expressed by the host or presenter and by participants are solely their current opinions and do not reflect the opinions of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its shareholder, or its affiliates. The opinions of the on-air guests or participants are based upon information they consider reliable, but neither ZBC nor its shareholder nor its affiliates warrant their completeness or accuracy, and they should not be relied upon as such.
So whatever my mind can see, that I will achieve, because I do the things I should, to my brethren kind and good. So I'll keep moving on, I won't stop now, I'll keep moving on, to reach the top somehow.
Yes, my Straight Talk family, we're gonna keep moving on, no matter what you hear them say, and we are not going to stop until we reach the top. We're not going to settle for anything less. And it's time for me to bid you a very pleasant night, my Straight Talk family, in St. Kitts and Nevis, and to all in the entire Caribbean region. To my Straight Talk family in the Kittitian and Liberian diaspora, I say greetings to all who are logged on to Straight Talk on my Facebook feed or my YouTube feed, and those who are on other social media. Those in the diaspora all over the world, on the World Wide Web. Some of you are in Africa, some of you are in Europe, some of you in Asia, and a lot of you, a whole lot of you are right here in North America. So I'm at liberty to say good morning. I'm at liberty to say good evening, and certainly I can say good afternoon, because one of such greetings will be applicable to the region in which you now find yourselves. Straight Talk is a public service program that facilitates and promotes free expression of national interests, be they legal, be they environmental, be they technological, social, economic, and or political issues. On Straight Talk, we do have a forum to express yourselves freely. Let's, in the process, continue to keep St. Kitts and Nevis as one of the freest countries in the entire world. On this program, we tried to raise the level of national consciousness. We tried to raise the level of national discourse by alerting our people to their rights, to their responsibilities, and certainly to their obligations. My name is Ian Patches Liburd, and I give Almighty God thanks for blessing me with yet another opportunity to join you in conversation on yet another occasion. My Straight Dog family, tonight I'm in a mood of ambivalence. On one hand, it is Valentines night, and Valentine, I've always learned, is for lovers. So I'm minded to give you some part of this program to say a happy Valentine's Day, because this day is for lovers. But I'll come back to that. First of all, I want to extend condolences to all those who have lost loved ones. Just before the program started, we heard the obituaries on ZIZ, so no need to repeat them. But I want to think of my own dear family, Netta, who's going to be interred on Wednesday. Faithful caller to Straight Talk. And, you know, we have met, although she said she was my cousin. But that's the way God planned it. And as normal, I do provide an update. But again, before that, I must say it was a great feeling, a wonderful feeling to be able to return to St. Kitts on Friday, jump into my own vehicle, drive myself to home, take a cold shower, then jump into my own bed. I know what a feeling, what a lovely feeling. Later I went to the famous strip, and I can tell you that life in St. Kitts appears to be back to normal. At least that's how it seems, as my understanding is that as of Saturday last, most restrictions in the entertainment sector have now been lifted. For example, I heard that Grandmasters, I'm told, after a long hiatus, played at the Green Valley Pub, Keon, that place owned by the popular Calypsonian. Yes. The point is, though, it seems as if life, the economy, the entertainment, and the travel business have graduated or gradually returned to a high level of normalcy. And this can only augur well for our beloved country. And in the process, we must commend the NEOC. And I always think of the Chief Medical Officer, the Brigadier General in Medicine. And of course, I think of the Medical Chief of Staff, Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, who have both been marshalling the troops in this fight against COVID. And of course, the Team Unity Administration, to whom they all report. We must commend them for their effective management during the past 2 years of an unprecedented and unpredictable pandemic. The COVID-19 situation, nonetheless, still demands our continuing vigilance as we speak. And according to the latest report, just as of today, Monday the 14th, there's some 6 confirmed cases in the last 24 hours. There is a total of some 5,505 confirmed cases in St. Kitts and Nevis, 4,672 on St. Kitts, and 833 on Nevis. And unfortunately, I should say, we have had 40 deaths too many. But when you look into, or we put these figures into its proper context, the testing regime has been really, really effective. Because over the period, some 60,000, imagine that, 60,626 persons have been tested. That's the total number of tests to date, 60,626 persons. And when we look at the vaccination rate, they are very high, perhaps the highest in the OECS region and beyond. Some 82.4% of persons who've had as first doses and 77% as second doses. So, my stray dog family, we have been doing well in the circumstances, and we must commend those who have been managing the process. Meanwhile, the airlines are back, the cruise lines are back, American Airlines and British Airways. I saw them on the tarmac at the same time on Saturday, or Sunday to be exact. So to the cruise lines, on Sunday there were 4 cruise ships in port. And how could I forget? On Saturday, I continued my ministry of giving as I went to my alma mater, the Tucker Clark Primary School, the Newtown Primary School. That's where I got my foundations. I always will give back to the school that made me what I am. Because we must remember, we only have one opportunity to get an elementary, or as we say, a primary school education. And for those who are going to undertake that process, I always encourage them to make the best use of that opportunity. So that's where you get your foundation. It's your foundational stage in the education process. So my ministry of giving continued on Saturday in that particular, or to that particular institution. Back here in New York, snow fell, rain came, it's cold. But it's that time in the program when we address our observations in review. When we do some reflection on the last edition to establish what was accomplished, how it has helped others, what has changed since, what can be expected next, and what new have we learned as a people. I don't mind, let me get back to the Valentines Day, because I didn't finish my salutation, my greetings to all my stray dog family. A happy Valentine's Day. As I was going to say earlier, this is a day for lovers. And I know that stray dog has quite a lot of lovers, plenty lovers. Interestingly, though, as we do our observations, a Valentine's oath, I call it, was made by Deputy Prime Minister, the Honorable Sean Kent Richards, who addressed the matter concerning the construction of the now famous $250,000 building being constructed at Port Zante by the Urban Development Corporation, the UDC. Deputy Prime Minister, with Bible in hand, swore on Facebook Live today that he was telling nothing but the truth. And only the truth can set everyone free.
There is a Bible here on my desk, and I take up this Bible and I say to you that every single thing that I am saying, that I, Sean K. Richards, is saying is the whole truth and absolutely nothing but the truth. I swear on this Bible today that what I am saying is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
So, we have to listen, we have to understand as well. In spite of what we're hearing, we have to move away from the what I call the insidious attempts at personal destruction. I can attest to that, but you gotta be strong. If you know you're telling the truth, you need not worry. Because straight talk can only remind that God is the absolute judge. And each of us must appear before the judgment seat of Christ and be maybe recompensed for the things that we have done. Lots of people are calling me, and I'm not going to indulge in the discussion. I'm only reporting, giving you an update as to where Straight Talk has seen or has opined as what we call the exact disposition in these matters. One thing we are certain of, the truth must come to light. The second observation is the confrontation between a member of parliament and the police, which we addressed before, and which is still under review by Straight Talk. A question was raised regarding the same at the Prime Minister's press conference last week, Thursday, the 10th of February, to which Commissioner of Police Hilroy Brandy provided this update.
The police force is responsible to maintain law and order in the Federation. And as you are aware, we're in a pandemic, and there's the COVID-19 Act that the police has asked to enforce. So as a result, officers were assigned to check on business premises to see that they are complying with the Act and the protocols. On the 8th of January, 3 officers visited the last club bar. As a result, an incident occurred. Police has investigated this matter, and the file has been submitted to the Director of Public Prosecution, who is the competent authority for these matters.
Well, that's straightforward. The Commissioner of Police, according to him, has turned the file over to the Director of Public Prosecutions for his decision on the matter. And you know that the Director of Public Prosecutions is a constitutional appointed independent authority. Hope I got that right. My Straight Talk family, we've also heard of the criteria for allocation of housing or homes in St. Kitts and Nevis. We had a program that relates to housing the last time. We will continue that program at some other time. And the final observation I would like to make as well relates to the good news. The good news that the Team Unity administration will soon embark on the badly needed rehabilitation of the Joseph N. France General Hospital. Straight Talk is advised that this phase of the project will cost approximately $20 million. And that's good news, because the health of a nation is the wealth of the nation. And we would have heard the criticism of the state, the current state of the Joseph N. France General Hospital. So, Team Unity has listened, the Team Unity administration has listened, and they are taking rehabilitative action, if I can use that term as well. So that's it for observations in review. And Straight Talk will continue to keep you posted on all outstanding issues of national interest. That is what we're doing. We keep you up to date on all outstanding issues of national interest. As an introduction to our conversation tonight, I also wish to remind you that over the last couple of weeks, Straight Talk has facilitated discussion on some very important subjects, such as tourism and agriculture. Last week, we had a lively discussion on the dire need for housing, particularly for those who are at the lower end of the economic spectrum in St. Kitts in particular. The importance of tourism and agriculture cannot be overstressed, since the former accounts for, I believe, 30% or more of our GDP, and the latter remains critical to our food security. Housing, on the other hand, is a public good that every government must provide. But there are challenges, we must admit, because we know that government needs to first ensure that there is sustainable financing. Ironically, here in New York at the United Nations, the debate in the General Assembly presently focuses on the common agenda, which was advanced by Secretary General Guterres in September of 2021. It was first advanced back then. It was in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic when member states came together to recognize that our challenges are interconnected and can only be addressed through reinvigorated multilateralism, with the United Nations at the center of our efforts. They pledged to strengthen global governance for the sake of present and coming generations, and to that end, requested the Secretary General to report back with recommendations to advance our common agenda and to respond to current and future challenges. It was opined that if the world is to recover from COVID-19 and we are to deliver on our promises to future generations, to secure a world where everyone can thrive in peace, dignity, and equality on a healthy planet, then 2021 must be the year we changed gear. So back then, in 2021, member states identified 12 areas of action that can only be addressed through reinvigorated multilateralism. Action to ensure that no one is left behind, that we protect our planet, that we promote peace and prevent conflicts, we abide by international law and ensure justice, that we place women and girls at the center, we build trust, and the list goes on and on. We were reminded that time is of the essence, and the choices before us are stark. Our welfare and indeed the permanence of human life now depend on us working effectively together across borders and sectors to manage many shared risks and achieve a vital set of common goals, my Straight Dog family. That is about the common agenda, however. But Straight Talk continues to promote the common good, which highlights what is best for every one of us, called kitchens and divisions, starting with the last, the least, the lost, the most vulnerable, and certainly the most forgotten. For that reason tonight, in that context, I wanted to focus on another public good to it called water. The last, the least, the lost, the most vulnerable, and certainly the most forgotten cannot survive without water. Water is life, my family. Straight Talk submits that water is one commodity that ought to be provided without profit by the government to every single citizen and resident of St. Kitts and Nevis. Mark you. To be clear, I did not say that water must be provided free of cost to citizens. I said that water should be provided by the government of the day to every member of society on a non-profit basis. And come the 22nd of March, next month to be exact, in a few weeks, the United Nations will celebrate World Water Day. World Water Day. It has been doing so every year since 1993, 30 years, in order to highlight the importance of fresh water. World Water Day is not just a celebration of water, but the objective is to raise awareness of the fact that approximately 2.2 billion people around the world who are living without access to safe water. It attempts to sensitize governments, in particular of the need to take action to tackle the global water crisis. On this day, a core focus as well is to support the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goal number 6, which stipulates that water and sanitation for all by 2030. Today, we need to enhance the value of water, my Straight Talk family, which is under extreme threat from a growing population, increasing demands of agriculture and industry, and we in St. Kitts Nevis know too well about the worsening impacts of climate change. My Straight Talk family, did you know, my Straight Talk family, that today around the globe, 1 in 3 persons live without safe drinking water. It is estimated by the year 2050, up to 5.7 billion people could be living in areas where water is scarce for at least 1 month in a year. Climate resilient water supply and sanitation could save the lives of more than 360,000 infants every year. Now, if we limit global warming to 1.5% Celsius above pre-industrial levels, it is predicted that the world, or that we could cut climate-induced water stress up to 50%, my Straight Talk family. Extreme weather has caused more than 90% of major disasters around the world. By 2040, global energy demand is projected to increase by over 25%, and water demand is expected to increase by more than 50%. And yes, we talk about global warming to 1.5 Celsius above pre-industrial levels. But even before that is done, and notwithstanding our national development contribution, our NDC in St. Kitts and Nevis, and we made that presentation at COP26. Even before that eventuality, we are already facing climate-induced water stress, because since 2007, the government of the day was warned about global warming. And what was done? Absolutely nothing. And what is being done now? Governments, in my view, have taken a risk and entered into another agreement with BEAD for the exploration, identifying, drilling, testing, and developing water wells in, of all places, the Green Valley in Cairn. My Straight Talk family, that was a year ago, a $6 million contract. I don't know if it was EC or US dollars. But after 1 year, nothing has been done by BEAD. BEAD has done absolutely nothing. BEAD is bedrock exploration and development technologies. And I said, nothing has been done. Suffice to say, at this moment, however, that at the expense of time and $6 million US or EC dollars, many more lessons will be learned from this latest agreement with BEAD. In the meantime, we need to adapt. We need to adapt to climate change. As the ocean warms, freshwater glaciers around the earth begin to melt at an unsustainable rate, which results in sea level rises. My Straight Talk family, we are going to continue to be exposed to persistent droughts, and our fresh water will become lacking. The main consequences of melting of the glaciers are increased level of the oceans. And the level of the oceans continue, my Straight Talk family, and it will continue in covering a big part of the continental areas that in some years could be completely submerged. We in St. Kitts and Nevis are no exception. The melted glaciers that added to rising sea levels, which in turn increases our coastal erosion. Look at the Bay Road, Fort Lands, in the Half-Pit Tree and beyond. We just addressed built really resilience in Old Road Bay. But elevated storm surges and warming air and ocean temperatures will create more frequent and intense coastal storms like hurricanes. And we have moved past the 50-year cycle storm to the nigh 200-year cycle storm. Imagine hurricanes packing winds of up to 200 miles per hour. In the meantime, I Straight Dog family, the water department is looking at.
From the government standpoint, the government will always see it as its responsibility to ensure that we endeavor to meet the demand for water, potable water, for purposes mainly inside of the home. We have been trying our best to keep up with the demand. I think that unfortunately, when we look at the situation locally in St. Kitts, we are not in the position that we would like to be in terms of the amount of water that we have, the supply versus the demand.
And that is troubling my Straight Dog family. Many things can be done, and many things ought to be done. But I'll open the lines and hear from you, because there's no straight talk without you, my Straight Dog family. I want to give you an opportunity to extend your Valentines greetings as well if you so desire. And I wouldn't be too rigid, too strict on some of the things you may raise as well. But one thing I forget to mention is things just don't seem to be well. That's the most I'll say for now. I'll continue to update you, my Straight Dog family. I'll entertain your calls and your emails. And just to remind you that the numbers are 465-2555 and or 718-577-2916. I always like to implore you to respect others, and of course, to achieve that, you must first respect yourselves. Let us try to be fair to all concerned. Let us try to build goodwill and better friendships, and ensure that the things we say and or do will be beneficial to all concerned. And in the process of saying and or doing those things, my Straight Dog family, let us strive to build a kinder, gentler St. Kitts and Nevis. With that said, at 16 before 9, I go to the lines and say, caller, you're live.
Yeah. Yes, good evening, Honorable Patches. You tell me you're coming, that you could bring the flowers, say the black thing for me. But I hear somebody tell me in your tongue.
Are you there? I thought you'd tell me happy Valentine, but yes, my Straight Dog family, I made a fleeting trip in and out, and I know it's going to run me into trouble because some very important people like Casilda I did get to see, but never mind. There'll be another occasion, my dear Labour friend. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Good evening, Dr. Patches.
Good evening, my brother.
How you doing? I'm good.
I am peaceful. I am peaceful.
Okay, welcome back home. And congratulations.
Thank you, my brother.
Yeah, congratulations to you and the things you have done since you appointed to that job as ambassador to our federation up in the United Nations. I am going to say this tomorrow anyway. Happy advance birthday greetings to one of my children in America. Tomorrow is her birthday. So thank God for life. Patches, I want to compare something here. You know, in New York as the ambassador, and those who down in the St. Kitts and cussing you, abusing you, saying that you don't want the job, you don't deserve the job that you got in Washington. Well, I want to tell them this. Look at the difference. You run for election and you won, and you lose. And the one before you, who does help to criticize you, run for election, they win, and they lose. Okay? Even though you're out in the losing section, you're still looking out for your constituency. Christmas guarantee, you gave them the Christmas gift. And lately, I heard something on the news that you bring down some things for the Tucker Clark school. That is the school you went to when it was called Pasture School. You ain't forget that. But what has the one before you have done for his constituency and school in the village? Absolutely nothing. So when they're going to compare, when they're going to talk, let them compare that. Well, I ain't even going down by Port Zante with the tower, what the building down there, because I don't know nothing about that. But from all information that I've been hearing, it seems like that there is one of the twin towers that blown down in New York with the plane, so they're building it back up. So when they go up in that, they could see the ships them coming in on the horizon. So that is all I'm going to say for that. But Patrick, I want to say something here now to our NOC, National Olympic Committee in the Federation. And I know that they're following the Winter Olympics up in China. And what is going on up in China, it is unfair compared to what happened to our athlete from here, which is my daughter too. In 2012 in England Olympics, when they were up in England in the Olympics, they discriminate against my daughter and say that they find some banned substance when they check her. Okay, fine. We agree if you're gonna carry out the rules of the IOC, let it be straight across the board, straight. Don't cut no corners. But you see, my daughter come from a small island which is not on the globe, the globe map, and it's St. Kitts, and she is black. So therefore they did what they had to do. Well, now up there in the Winter Olympics, this 15-year-old Russian athlete lady, you see what happened to her? They find her positive with banned substance, and they still let her compete, you know. But the case is supposed to be judged and justified, but they still let her compete. When they stop my daughter from St. Kitts from competing, well, okay, if you're going to do that to somebody, do it right across the board, not because she from up there and she got a white banana color. You're going to let her go. So I am calling on the authorities of our NOC. They know who they are. You all have a case against the IOC from against discrimination on our nation. And don't think that we ain't know what's going on. You all can't sit back here, look a sheep and take your debt and let them get away with that. So you all could carry them to court, international court, for discrimination against our athlete from St. Kitts. When my daughter and Kim Collins were up in England 2012, and they discriminate against her. Now, what they stop my daughter from competing for? they're letting it go free up there in China because of what? The color of skin? Come on, people. Patches, thank you for letting me talk so long. And I'll come back with my last do before you shut off. I can continue to listen. And good night to everybody who listening Straight Talk. Thank you, Patrice.
Thank you very much. Let's go back to the lines at 10 before 9. Call your line.
Hey, Patrice, good night. How you doing?
I am peaceful. Yourself?
It's Red Cap, man. Yeah, your partner from the airport, Andrew.
How are you, my brother?
Boy, you know. Patrice, tonight I want to ask a question. A lot of these doctors, actually, like Dr. Jew, I had some people coming at the businesses and they've been talking about some situation where they call him, and after they call him to, maybe they feel sick and all that, and they call him and he's not responding back to, he can answer the number first, and then after they call him out like 7 times, sometimes 2 weeks going, they're calling him to find out what to take, what medication, he's not responding. I am saying, okay, you went with the study to be a doctor to take care of people.
Red Cap. My brother, Andrew.
Yes.
I'm really sorry to interrupt you, right?
Go ahead.
But you're treading on some, shaky ground in terms of the fact that you calling someone's name and you accusing him of a particular act relating to his professions. I really want you to be careful the way you're heading this
what
up.
I'm saying. I understand what you're saying.
Because there is information that you can validate.
I'm not accusing anyone, but what I'm saying, listen me out. A lot of these doctors out.
Yeah, but you just said, but you withdraw what you're saying then?
No, what I'm saying, but I was talking
No, I'm asking you if you no, please. If you're not accusing him, just withdraw what you said, and then you could proceed.
Withdraw what I said and then proceed?
Yes,
Okay,
because you just made an accusation that I can't verify.
Okay, that's fine. Well, why are a lot of these doctors
So you withdraw it?
there? Hello?
I'm asking you if you withdrew it.
I said I withdraw it. Okay, I withdraw and we
Okay,
move on.
thank you very much. Thank you for your understanding.
I did say it, I did say it already, but maybe you didn't hear me. I said I withdraw.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But what I'm saying now, why a lot of these doctors out there, they answer your phone for the first time and you can be calling them all out 2-3 weeks, no response, actually. They answer first, But you're calling them, and no response. I had a guy say he went to a funeral, and he called in a doctor over 2 weeks, and he saw the doctor, and the doctor showed him up, and he said, I just answer him because over 2 weeks he answered my call first, and then after calling him back, no response. And he said when the doctor showed him at the funeral, the doctor showed him in a kind of shame, shout him and then bend his head. Actually, I mean, I had a personal experience. I had my daughter was sick, and I called a doctor, and it was the same situation. I get an answer first, and then after a while, about 2-3 days, call him back. The doctor said to call him back. Call me back if any situation. I'm calling back over a 2 weeks period and no response. Why do you treat people like that? Why do you treat people this way? I mean, if you say you're a public figure and whatever and you went to study for something, you should deal with people better than that, not like dog treatment. I mean, come on. I mean, that really... What do you think about that, Patches? I want to ask you before I say 1 or 2 things. Yeah.
Well,
that kind of behavior with doctors, actually.
Well, I mean, that's not professional if you are accurate. You said you had a personal experience. That's what
I had experience.
Addressing. Yes. If your personal experience is what you're saying, then it's not a professional way to operate.
And when I say I had a personal experience, I mean, my daughter was sick. She wasn't eating. I call. I get a good answer. Okay, this is what's happening. If any situation, call me back. If she don't eat well or whatever and so on, or she not doing what she's supposed to do, call me back. But you're calling back over 2 weeks period and no response, no call back. And the fellow came at the business place on the outside and said he had the same experience. A lady came on the business place and she had the same experience. A gentleman in the bus come and said he had the same experience. So, I mean, come on. Why are you treating people this way? Have a good night. Bye.
Have a good night, my dear brother. I did say that I was, state of ambivalence because there's quite a lot of things going on. So I would allow some digression tonight. So I entertain that other caller as well. Caller, you're live.
Good night. How are you?
Yes, call.
Good night. How are you?
I am peaceful. Sounds
Sound like
Alice in
anybody.
Wonderland.
Like whoever you want sound like you sound like. Slip in, slip out. You did not lose is what they do to you. So don't put it in your head. Anyway, Mr. Liburd, I want to... No, who can give this tour on the dishes? I want to tell the Prime Minister be strong because it's not clothespin. They want to hang him out every day. If he will be the worst Prime Minister, the worst opposition Prime Minister, that's nothing. He's doing good and he will do good. So let them come after him every day up to today. You see, when they get on, if they bring up the people them who owe the government money, they would not get no more mouth to talk. They must keep after him. He's man doing good and them inheriting too. That's not right. And who the Prime Minister them want to go join up with? The same man or the man just called. They will be a fool to go join up with him because they're going to get 5 seats and the PAM going to get 2. And they still going to want to join up with somebody who don't want them. See you. Good night.
Thank you very much. It's 3 before the 9 o'clock hour. I go straight back to the lines.
Package,
My brother,
how are you?
I am peaceful. I hope you get the yam and the tanyo and things for me when I come back.
Well. But you think I was in Bass, eh? But I spot you.
I
You
spot you
understand?
too. Yes.
Okay. Now, I am reading from Psalm chapter 7. No, Psalm chapter 7 and verse 11. And hear what he say here. God judge the righteous. The righteous man does pay every day. God still judge him. And God is angry with the wicked every day. Number 2, verse 12. If he turn not, he will whet his sword. He will bend his bow and make it ready. Number 13, he will also prepare for him an instrument of death. And then his arrow against the persecutor. Mr. Patches, verse 15. I jump to verse 15. He that made a pit and dug it, fall in the ditch that he made. Number 14. His mischief shall return on his head, and his violent dealer shall come on his own plate. Now, that's it. Mr. Patrick, I am reading from 1 Corinthians chapter 2, verse 14. This is the last I am going to tell you. But the natural man receive not the things that are spiritual of God, for they are foolish unto him, neither can he know them, for they are spiritual discern. So all who want to really take up the Bible and start to quote scripture, and you not saved, you not born again, brother. This Bible man come on the air this tonight to tell you that the word of God are foolish unto you, because the Spirit of God is not in you. No, Mr. So no, I read it. The natural man can't discern the things that are spiritual. So when me hear people start to quote such a scripture, me know they not got no information from God, because they are not born again. Patrick, I wish you all the best. And by the grace of God, God will help me to see you again. Thank you, and be strong. Mine, I'm going to tell you this if we ask him. You know the way you receive and lost your seed because you hook up school drill Wednesday. You hook up with the Prime Minister, so they did not want. So thank you, Mr. Patrick. Have a pleasant night.
Have a pleasant night, my dear Bible man. The Psalms, the last verse says, I will praise the Lord according to his righteousness. I'm going to sing praise to the name of the Lord Most High. That's a verse I was expecting you to read, but thanks for your passage from Corinthians and the Psalms. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
Good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land, and good evening, Mr. Ambassador. How are you?
Good evening, my brother.
Excuse me?
Good evening, and how are you?
I am doing great. I am doing great. And to all of the good folks out there, I know it might be passe, but belated happy Valentines. Love is in the air. Now, I was pleasantly surprised to learn that you're once again in sync.
Are you there, my brother? Okay. I seem to have lost my brother there. It's 4 past 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, sorry. You there?
Yes, I am.
Okay, we missed you for a while.
I said good evening, everybody out there in Radio Land, and good evening, Mr. Ambassador, again. How are you doing?
I am peaceful, my dear brother. Yourself?
I am doing great myself, and belated happy Valentines to all you good folks out there in Radio Land. Mr. Ambassador, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, the whole world is listening to you.
Thank you so much for your continuing magnanimous attitude. I was pleasantly surprised to learn that you're once again in St. Kitts. You had to time it for Valentines. Yeah? Which tells me that you have already put in a sustained presence in Caon, and not for politics, not for political purposes, because anywhere sweetness is, the ants and the bees will follow. Valentine sentiments in context. Having said that, I will hasten to add, in the interest of time, that an extremely prominent high net worth and resourceful PAM supporter and generous donor lamented aloud to me recently that when I gravitated to PAM, the acronym denoted action. People's Action Movement. It was founded to get things done through direct action. Now today, that person told me unequivocally that same acronym has been warped to mean PAM, people after money. Now, it doesn't matter what people call you. A tree's known by the fruit it bears. Just look at the history and conduct of the whole sorry, sordid lot. When I ask, are we going to get successful legal closure on that serial transgressor Grant? I've been asking myself that. My answer? We won't. You know that, Mr. Ambassador. This is the time to abandon pretenses. We won't. Because you know what? Political mathematics says as much. It's a coalition, remember? As for the Deputy Prime Minister, I'm glad that he swore on the Bible, aren't you? Because every time he opens that polluted mouth of his, it further invalidates him as a proper candidate for higher office. I just visited that ill-fated hut on Port Zante, which can fit in 2 of your bathrooms. Forgive me if I exaggerate somewhat. I'm not a builder with a sense of dimension. You've done well for yourself, however, Mr. Ambassador. You've always been extremely ambitious. Nobody should begrudge you what you have amassed over a lifetime. But $250,000 spent for that out of your money and mine? $250,000 under his portfolio that he never realized disappeared from his hand? The Bible is right. He that is faithful in the least, it couldn't happen under you. He that is faithful in the least will also be faithful in that which is much. Is this the man that we, as intelligent people, want to lead us? Let us be wise, for once at least, on the issue, okay? finally, and I say this soberly, you would know Bags from Keon, taught for 30 years, my classmate, and I've been losing a lot of people around me, and some of them are sick. I'm going to make this brief, very, very brief. But the story's told of an angel who came down to a stockbroker. And he said, you have one wish. And he told him, I want to know what the stock market would look like 2 weeks hence. And the scroll came down. When the scroll came down, he had an impeccable memory. He jumped up from sleep and he started scribbling feverishly. And he said, yes, got the world by its tail. Until, in that dream or so the story goes, he said, let me flick over and see what the rest of the paper has to say. And on that very same day, in the obituary section, his name was prominently placed therein. While we build bigger bonds, remember that there is a bigger creator. And I want to remind you, even as you stay in your exalted office, Mr. Ambassador, you have served us so well. Thank you so much for all that you have given this country and me on a personal basis. But remember, as you continue to give, every day you are writing your own eulogy. You're going down in history. Never lose sight of that. And if they are not listening, pass it on to your peers who seem ill-equipped to understand this, it seems. Have a great evening, my friend. And good evening, folks.
Have a great evening as well, my dear brother, Enver. No matter what you say, you know, he's always assertive, full of eloquence, and wide and variable knowledge, and academic in his own right. And he'll tell you like it is. And this forum facilitates all views. That's what Straight Up is about. Caller, thank you for holding your life.
Good night, Honorable Patrick Liburd. Well, don't look for no happy Valentine from me because I'm not on the part of the shelf. Okay? Now, I want to know, between tuning into you, I heard you were saying that somebody was swearing on the Bible. You know, what the reason for they were swearing on the Bible? They said they're going to swear on the Bible or something like that. What the reason for it?
Bible here on my desk, and I take up this Bible and I said to you that every single thing that I am saying, that I, Sean K. Richards, is saying is the whole truth and absolutely nothing but the truth. I swear on this Bible today that what I am saying is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
Have you listened to yourself?
Yes, sir. But the fact remains, that he swear on the Bible that he's talking the truth. The truth about what? I would like to know the truth about what? He was accused of something. Why he swearing on the Bible to talk the truth? And what is in the media and so on, and what's on Facebook and different things. And he he been blamed for it? If he been blamed for it, and he know he never had no part of it, the people them who is in charge should come forward and clear Mr. Sean, Mr. Richard, Honorable Richard, and clear him and say, well, look, he never know what we are doing, and he had no idea what we are doing. Don't hold him in limbo and put the man under this stress, what he is, that he can swear upon the Bible. There should be people enough to come and say, well, look, we build a hut without a toilet and it costs X amount and what it is. And he never knew when we built it. Because he said on the ear he never knew that nothing about it. Nobody tell him, and he called people name and said you could ask them if they had anything to think. But up to now, these people are not punished for what they has done. So you as the minister, you have to hold the fort and hold the battle for it until these things are clear up. You know, so I don't know. It's a ticklish situation for you to be in right now as a minister of the kind of authority what you have. Because every day things are coming, and he's innocent of them. So somebody has to be blamed for them. So if somebody is to blame for them, you should come and say, well, look, I am the minister. You all do something here, which I never approve of it. You go from here, go cross the road, go walk, go up there, go walk, come back down here, come walk, or something. Don't stay in your office and swear on the Bible and say, well, you're swearing that everything you're saying is the truth and nothing but the truth. You understand me? If you is in charge, you have to bear the responsibility for what went down. You know, so I don't know what's really going on. I really don't know. I really don't understand it. You know, I know a lot of people think, well, people in Sinkit, the poorer class, there is not just poor. They think there's illiterate and stupid, and they don't know the difference between wrong from right, and they don't got the slightest idea of what's going on. But I think people are getting mixed up with the voters them now, because the voters them today are smarter than the last election. You understand me? So I hope they know what they're doing, you know. I hope they know what they're doing. You understand me? So that's all I have to say for tonight, and if anything else come to my mind what you said before, I will bring it up. So that's it. So you have a nice night and a happy thing, what you call it, Valentine you call it? I thought Valentine was only for women, but
Valentine for lovers.
If you see the ad,
Valentine for lovers, Rockefeller.
Valentine only make women rich. Okay. Okay, Patches, take it easy.
Have a good night, my brother. Thank you for holding color. You're live.
Yes. Patches. Patches.
The major.
Yes, this is the major. You know the major voice. Now, Patches, listen to me. This can sound like a recitation to you, but take it quite seriously, my friend. It may sound like a recitation to you, but take it over. As I sat here, Patches, as I sat here and I listened to your friend, the Bible man you call him, that is what you call him, eh? The Bible man, right? You listening?
Right.
What he's saying, Patches, to you.
Yes, Major.
Yeah, what he's saying, Patches, to you, is seek intimacy and completeness with God. Listen to this. It is hard to be truly mutual in a love relationship when you have many needs. No human being, Patches, no human being, I say it 3 times, can make you complete. No person can prove that you are worthwhile. So the seems though that the Bible man seems to like you. I like you too, Patches. You're from your town. But all he's telling you, and take it quite seriously, is to seek intimacy and completeness with God. You understand? Because it's hard, really, truly to truly mutual in love with relationship when you have many needs. No human being, as I said again, make you complete. No person can prove that you're worthwhile. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Major. Experts from Straight Talk. Let's go back to the lines. Call you live.
This is Patches.
Yes, it is.
Good night.
Good night, my dear.
How are you, Patches?
Sounds like
your
Paula.
voice. Sean family.
Yes, happy Valentine.
Sadlers. Sean family.
Yes.
You'll get to hear your voice. Okay?
Glad to hear as well.
Happy Valentine.
Happy
Big
Valentine
up
to you.
Big up Sean, Venerable Sean, and the Prime Minister for me, and Shasha Mali. God bless you. Okay? For the work you're doing. Okay?
Thank you. Paula. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, from ST, very best. Calling from Saddlers. Have a great night and be safe.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. And I pray for Sean also, my family. Love you. Thank you,
Love
Patrick.
you more, Paula.
Thanks.
Thank you very much. That's Paula from SP, where the best be, but now living in Saddlers, picking up her cousin Sean, Deputy Prime Minister, Sashi Mali, and the Prime Minister as well. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Yes. Good evening, Honorable Patches. Me again. What happened, right? That when you all talk about the vaccination, right? A lot of people didn't take the vaccination. And I want to know, and as I listen to the radio, they ain't getting no pay. But when it all the years they work, Social Security is supposed to give them something, but they ain't qualified because they ain't take the vaccination. But they let the years they work. You all is calling for trouble, and people gonna keep people thing, and people ain't gonna pay for the houses them. Because if that is the case, that a lot of people who they lay off and getting no money because they don't qualify. How come they don't qualify? And they're working all them years. It got to be some kind of money to put in their pocket to feed their children. You take care. See you.
Thank you very much, Casilda. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Good night. Good night.
Good night, politics.
Yeah, a blessed night to the Federation of Civic Nevis. Thank God for life. Thank God for sparing and keeping me and looking over this nation. And we know that since it is a God-blessed country, no matter what people might say and people might do, all kind of wicked evil, God is looking over us and protecting us. Now, Patrick is talking about water. I believe water is very important in any country. And all these huge buildings are going up in the country. I believe that now government should step up and lay even the ordinary man bill assistance. Because water is very important. Sometimes when I see the water wasting, up to this morning, when I finish work, I go down to Irish Town there. I see a pipe bus right in the middle of the road here, water running like a river. And that is, it's important to know that the importance is the water, because I hear the gentleman was on, I think was last week, anyway, the guy for the water, that they're going to build some more reservoir around the Federation and to help store the water, and that is so good. Because when I listen, I think this afternoon I listen to the news, and I listen to the news and the over in Nevis, they are giving out now that all who don't pay the water bill for some kind of month, they're going around and cut the water. Actually, I believe water cheap because only $20 for water. I don't know much about Nevis, but I think it. I don't pay $20 a month. And I don't make sure sometimes, even before the water bill come, or my light bill come, I go and I pay them. And all who do not want to pay the water bill, the water bill went up to $2,000, $3,000, even $5,000. We hear some people water bill went up to. I said that they want this. And they love the country. Because anybody going to willfully let the water bill run up or the government. Water is very important. And water is very hard to get. Because they got to build roads, they got to check this water, they got to dig wells and do all kind of things. And all these things cost money. So, people, man, when I got to buy a bill to pay, I got to pay the bill and try to bring this country and the economy stable. We in a COVID still. We don't know what's going to happen. With this COVID situation, we don't know what behind it to come again. Try save as much water as you have to save. Sometimes you are wasting a lot of water. And water is very important. Because if you don't have no water, you can't cook. If you don't have no water, you can't bathe your skin. If you don't have no water, you can't water your garden. If you don't have no water, you can't drink water. So you're not dead, end up sick and dead. So people, store as much water as you can store. When you are building your big huge house, you all do a system to your house. And I believe that will be. That is something will be good. Because it's important, Patches. Patches, you have a wonderful night. May God bless the Federation of St. Nevis. And God bless the Prime Minister and his cabinet. I hear all kind of things. But only God will work it out for us. Because man is so evil, some and spiteful and bad-minded. Only God will work it out for us, Patches. May God bless the Federation again. Patches, good night.
Thank you very much. May God bless you as well. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Yes, Patrick. This is me 45 seconds. Second do. Good night, Major. And good night, my friend in station. She's right on, log on to straight talk. Patrick, let me come back to this thing. This little hut round there by Port Zante. Me, radical culture here, I personally believe that what the Honorable Sean Richard said, he is genuine and sincere from his heart. Because no conscious, state-of-minded person is going to hold the Bible in the hand and swear to that Bible there. Because the Bible ain't plain, you know. That is the most powerful weapon in the world. And Sean, you could hear the genuinity in the man's voice. And he's sincere with what he say. He don't know what's going on out there. And out there got somebody else over that area over there. And they got to know what's going on over there to see that thing they're constructing in an area that they're responsible for. So them who know about it, let it come on the radio like Honorable Sean and clear the name. Let it come ahead, man. But you see what happened? Some of them in there, they say when you own bug, bite you harder than your neighbor bug. And that's what happened to Sean. Because bug in his own bed, in his own political bed, they're biting him from all angles. Because they feel like Sean wasn't supposed to be deputy prime minister. They feel like somebody else who the party belongs to supposed to be the deputy prime minister. And even overrun the deputy's position and be prime minister. But not so you go. Not so you go. No party you are going to decide nothing because none of them write no application on no paper to say, well, this is my position. It's the people put them in what position they get. So let all of them, they back off with the troop in his pension. They're stabbing the prime minister in the back. And they're stabbing Sean in the back. And all of them supposed to be on the same ship. If you on the ship and you're lazy, give you a drone, just throw you overboard. Let it go. But let it go ahead. Who God bless, not a man caution. Who God put there nobody can move them. It's God will have to move them, either by the conscience or the voters that move them from there if they see the thing. So let it go ahead. The country going good, the country running good. We have a good leader. And you, Patrice, when you were there, you know, up under the Prime Minister as a deputy. And you have done well. Well. Anywhere you look around the island, you can see Patrice. And you see what they do to you? What they do to you is what they do to Jesus. But don't worry. What start bad can end good. Patrice, have a good night. Thank you very much.
Have a good night as well, my dear brother. Let's go back to the lines. Well, gone by the morning says can come good night. And in the event you have just joined us, as I said from the onset, I was in a state of ambivalence as to whether I should discuss a particular topic tonight, or whether I should give an opportunity to convey your greetings. I thought that Straight Talk had a lot of lovers, because Valentines Day, or night, I should say, is a night of lovers. Hope you have sent your flowers. Hope you're on your dates. And, you know, really having loving fun, so to speak. But we looked at the issue first of the issue of the observations, and it seemed to have taken much more attention was given to the observations in review than the topic I tried to raise. And rightly so, because we do have to really give vent to the issues as people see them. I was in the Federation, like I said, you know, and I heard many things myself as it relates to what's happening in St. Kitts and Nevis. I heard, for example, the minister and representative from AID made this comment sometime last week as well.
Today, we have PLT and PAM in the house, and we have no PP in the house too. And I'm saying in this public forum, there is no need to be any war of words or actions to divide us. This team unity has been strengthened by the coming together of two parties in 2015. Well, before 2015. Three parties actually, but two in St. Kitts. And it has brought unprecedented development to this community. So I'm challenging anybody on my team not to be engaged in any war of words with anybody. And I'm also challenging those on the PLP team not to be engaged in any war of words.
And that comment coming from inside of that unity arrangement, it has given quite a lot of persons cause for concern. But I said it was a great feeling to be able to return to St. Kitts, albeit for a short sojourn, you know. But it was really a great feeling to be able to jump in your own vehicle, drive on your way home, jump in your own bed, get a cold or hot shower. I got a cold shower. And it was really a lovely feeling when you could move on to the strip, people congregating, people are liming, so to speak, and it tells you that life in St. Kitts is returning to some level of normalcy. The last 2 years were difficult for everyone. I know some people have not been re-employed, and it's tough. The entertainers were crying out. They understand that the restrictions have been lifted with the entertainment sector, and that's good, you know. But the point is, it seems like the economy, travel business, and in particular, entertainment and more so life is back to normal. Even here in the USA, where you can see the movements. In New York, the mask mandate has been lifted. You know, that's a sign of things improving. And our beloved country will have to get to that particular juncture sooner rather than later, I am sure. Because I don't think we want to go around wearing masks all our lives. See those pretty ladies, like the one who just sent me that WhatsApp asking me for her flowers. I want to see her without a mask because she's beautiful. So in time to come, that will change, I am sure. And my Straight Dog family, a lot depends on us though. A lot depends on us to really protect ourselves and protect others. You know, yes, you have to practice good hygiene, you know, practice, you know, or use the non-pharmaceutical methods. Apply them, you know. Sanitize your hands. You see me sanitize my hands just a minute ago, a while ago, I should say. And you can do the same. For now, we have to wear masks, especially when we are in crowded areas, until we can really overcome this dreadful disease. And my Straight Dog family, we as a country and we as a people can only ensure for our own selves that we can and are willing to do the things that are right. We have to look at ensuring certain areas of action. You know, we have to ensure that no one is left behind. We have to be prepared. We have to be prepared to move forward and move forward together. At 21 before 10 o'clock, let's go back to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Good night, Patches. Good night.
Good night, my dear.
Yes. I understand what Mr. Richard's coming on saying, you know, but there's something out again. And it's not looking like a hurricane or follow behind a hurricane. And, you know, as one disappeared to the west, another one again coming from the east. It's not sound good, not looking good. Because now there's something come on. I don't know how much days in the month now when I thought it was 31. So we are going to start to get building from the electricity now at 30, on the 34 days, so I don't know. And that's not nice. The same thing I march down the road for now, Mr. Patrick. I don't care what nobody else say when they're coming after me, you know. I walk march down in the gut with you all. Because they say, man, the bill was really going up to it because he did not knock a home bill. I let me hold on a microwave and about 120, you know. So me only hope pretend that we're heading far again, you know. I think Mr. Timothy said, which he was so good, he wanted to take care of the country, of the country post. And he seems as though the country post to look at the last time about because they saying so good. He's saying, I understand in the talk a while ago, he know how it happened. Remember, he did come out to the first year, you know, how the person get that building there with the money, 200,000, other. Okay. Now he come and out say, he swear he ain't know what's going on. Well, what happened to Milligan? Somebody, the same person going to get contract to go up Milligan and anything only cost 1.2 million and they got on 4 million and the thing. What really going on in this country? Remember what out there, no, nobody know things don't happen just 3, 4, 5 months from now, you know. We need to be good and be straight. We don't put them there for that. I don't march down in the gutter no for that. Rain come and all, so we couldn't go down Church Street. They divert us down in College Street got. And this is what I vote for. I feeling very bad to me because the same person gonna get a job again to do something of need must state. What we gonna build here? Is it the high school? Is it what? One person can make the same mistake over again. He is so good, Mr. Timothy. I don't got to come look at you though, because I'm going to ask what the post gone. You were saying you got the O, but it's another the O, brother, no only the O thing underneath. We need to get this thing straight now. 34 days, so they're going to check that. But they ain't got a microwave, you know. And me ain't got nothing but a stove and a little fridge, so I don't know, and I iron now and again. No one then me iron, because most of my clothes they take up and wear, so I beg them find back the treasury person or whatever they try. Like me said, Mr. Patrick, me laughing after it, but how, you know, there's sometimes you find money and you took out the money and you just throw the post aside, because you say, man, and I study that way, I want to find it again and give the people them the card, the document, that's up to them. But you know you got with the money. So I beg them hard tonight, the 14th of February, find back Harvey Post. We put confidence in Mr. Harris. He was showing Harvey and now he's done very bad. That now it post like he money come out and it post trouble. That's all I have to say. 31 days in a month, not 34, please. Okay. Everybody wants so much money out of the institution. I don't know what to do.
Thank you very much. Nice shades of family. I believe that you did not listen to the Deputy Prime Minister, and I listened to him, and he did in fact say the social media post about the Milligan contract, or the contract that laid the underground cable up to Milligan or Millikin, whatever is the right pronunciation. I've lost it for a moment. It's far from the truth. So, and he did swear, the Bible in hand, that he did not know. You know, it's raises other comments one would understand, you know, but that's no doubt part in politics. If the projects are successful, then then the government gets the kudos. If they fail, the minister gets the blame. Let's go back to the lines. Call your line.
Patches? Patches?
Yes, my dear.
Sorry. Sean family again, they put in the Prime Minister and Sean in a lot of things. Okay? But I got to be is strong. And they can't do Sean. Sean family is big. So they leave Sean alone. They're talking about Prime Minister got to do Buckley's how. Something with the Buckley's long time ago. I was in station. I was up in station. They put in the Prime Minister do a lot of things. Big up Jatoots of Buckley's, Rasta Jatoots for me, please. Okay? Okay, Patis. Big up Rasta
Okay, thanks for...
He's from Buckley's, Rasta man. Cook good, right, in Buckley's. Yes. Love you.
Okay.
Better leave Sean alone.
Thank you very much. That's coming from Paula. Paula from SP, where the best be now in Sadlers. But my straight dog family, did in fact, although I did not intend or announce it, did in fact have a general discussion on my observations in review. But we also spoke to the common good, or the first of all, we spoke about the common agenda. And the common agenda spoke to no one be left behind. Spoke about protecting our planet. Spoke to promoting, I should say, peace and preventing conflicts. To abide by international law and ensure justice. Place women and girls at the center. Our welfare and indeed the permanence of human life now depend on us effectively together, to working together as one people. The common good, though, that I spoke to earlier, in advancing the common good, I attempted to highlight what is best for every one of us, every single petition and division, starting with the last, the least, the lost, the most vulnerable, and certainly the most forgotten. I spoke to the public good as well, and I spoke to water, which is a commodity that ought to be provided, in my view, without profit by the government, and every single citizen and resident ought to have access to water. Mark you, I am not saying for one moment that water must be provided free of cost to citizens. I am saying that it should be provided by the government of the day to every member of society at or on a non-profit basis. And my straight dog family, we have to understand that we are living in a global village. We are living in a time when it's important that we count on each other. Last week I spoke to housing, for example, and the need for government to control the cost of housing. But I'll get back to that. I'll go to the lines. Caller, you're live.
Yeah, Pat is me again. Pat is, I was in a certain area today. And I had my mask. And a few people meet me, tell me that politics, you know, they're done with mask now. I said, who said they're done with mask? They're done with mask now, you know, they're done with mask. It's a stop wearing mask. The Patches, let me tell you, right? Me, Mr. Politics, I ain't gonna done with wearing the mask. The commander said stop wearing mask, I ain't gonna stop wearing mask. But you know the reason why? Tourists are coming here. COVID out your jet full still. Plaguing some of these countries still. You don't know what next to come. And I don't continue to wear my mask. Because as far as I'm concerned, something about the plague in the whole world, and people just dying fast, picking up all kind of disease, and dying. You can't COVID one killing people in Patches. All kind of different sickness in the kill people. So me gonna do like the what they call them again, boy? These people close to China, Lord, Taiwan. I gonna do like the Taiwanese them. The people laugh at me. Me not say I gonna get it on all the time, but I always gonna get my mask on my chin. When I meet anybody suspects, I pull up my mask. Your practice is important. A lot of them know they want to go wild. They want to go in, they want to go this way, they want to go entertain, they want to go jump up, they want to go that. The practice, before they were home, God got more work to do. People, all stop, look and listen. Do not be ignorant. COVID out there still. We don't know what next to come behind COVID. Maybe something gonna be out there coming, and we don't even gonna come out of our house. And when we come out of the house, we got to put cloak down. All of us got to cover and put on a suit, some kind of special suit to come out. You understand? This world is plaguing with all kind of thing now in the Patches. And I believe that people here ain't got things serious. Oh, any mask, man. Tell me the mask, stupid mask about people's face. But the stupid mask must step on the face, you know. Because, Patches, I don't want to go out of this world so easy with no COVID or with no other sickness. I believe that I'm going good enough for my age, and I'm going good. Patches, I got a good friend in Nevis. Talking about social security, I take on now. Well, she used to do she own and chop, no. So she own things and so. So I always encourage her to, you know, join the social security. So, no man, me got a little apartment left on rent and wherever. You know, me got a little apartment for rent and me do my little business. Well, Patches, she don't pay no social. Well, I think sometime this month gonna make her 70 years now. And she called me the politics. Boy, if I'm not going to live so long here, boy, I'll continue, I'll pay me social, you know. I'm going to pay me social because I got some people in my apartment, but the politics, they're not paying the rent, you know. They're not paying the rent. And right now, I got things tough. I got my bills, I pay, I got this up, I got that to do, and that's how I do. So, I just, social security, social is important to pay. Especially when you're doing your own entrepreneur skill. And all who working for business, private business, or even working for government, working for hotel or whatsoever, when they take out to social, you have to go down to the social security and make sure that ICI social pay, because a lot of people suffering from this. You know? So my friend now, she don't live 6 years, you know, 6 years. Not getting no social. She going to 7 years now, she not going to social. Because sometimes this month she bought there. She bought month, she said. And she's have a wonderful night again, may God bless you.
Have a wonderful night, my brother. Let's go back to the lines. Wind down tonight's program in Collie Live.
Hello, Patches. Good evening.
Yes, sir. Good evening, my brother.
Yeah, happy Valentine's evening to you, sir, and to all the all the Christians who celebrate Valentines. And
Same to you, my brother.
as well, everywhere. I want to make a quick input on the whole question of the legislation of paying as you enter on passenger buses. I want to believe that the Ministry of Transportation, in conjunction with the Transport Board, along with the bus associations throughout St. Kitts, they should have the legislative people legislate that passengers traveling on passenger buses should pay as they enter. That should become law. That should be legislated. Because we have a lot of passengers who are very inconsiderate, and they wait until they reach their destinations to jump off the buses, dip into their back pockets, and pull out $100 to pay busmen. Or dip into their back pockets, pull out $50 to pay a busman. And I think that is unfair. Because you see, what the passengers do when they pay so late is that they cost us a lot of time. They cause us to lose a lot of time. They're failing to realize that, look, if you pay the bus early, it is in your interest to pay the bus early. You save yourself time, you save the bus driver time, you save your fellow passengers time, and also you're covered by insurance. In the event of an accident, the first thing that the insurance agent asks when he gets on the scene of the accident is, did you pay the bus? So I think the government should legislate and make it law that all passengers should pay all buses upon entering the bus, and not wait until they travel from Sadler's to Basta with $100, travel from Parsons to Basta with $50, Basta to Parsons with $100, and want to pay the bus driver upon arrival at their destination. I think that is bad. That is unfair to us. That is costing us a lot of time and a lot of money on the road. A lot of time and a lot of money. The people are failing to realize that, look, you pay the bus in advance so that when you arrive at your destination, you open the door and you go, you save time. I traveled from Toronto to New York on a Greyhound bus, and I bought my ticket a week in advance, Patrick. So these people are failing to realize that it is important to pay the buses early. Early. Some of them want to scheme out and not pay the bus drivers, costing us a lot of money on the road. And another thing I want to talk about is the bad roads we have in Sandy Point. We have the road being dug up all over the place. I think the Honorable Sean Richard, he lives in Sandy Point. He knows about the bad roads near to Benjack. Why isn't the roads division patching the roads that need to be patched? That should be done. I see that as a dereliction of duty on the part of the Ministry of Infrastructure, the Ministry of Public Utilities, Public Works, especially roads division. I think those people are too lazy, and they need to do their work. We are paying taxes. Why aren't they fixing the roads? The government has spent thousands of dollars to rehabilitate the road, and the road is in an awful state. Awful state of potholes on Old Bay. Why is that so? New Guinea, Sandy Point, all over they're digging up the road and they're not fixing the road. That is not right. That is not fair to us. We as bus drivers paying wheel taxes every year. The Ministry of Public Infrastructure, Public Utilities, Road Division especially, needs to do their work. They're not being fair to us. It is not right. It surely is not right, sir. And they need to address that.
Okay. Heard you loud and clear.
Yeah, I'm telling
brother.
you, this is hurting. It's not nice because it is not keeping with road island, road rehabilitation. It is really a disgrace to see what the road has come to in Sandy Point, New Guinea, and all over St. Kitts. They're digging up the road. Almost everywhere you go, they're cutting the road. I believe that road division, along with water department, departments should be working in conjunction with each other, hand in hand. So, if there's a burst pipe, a broken pipe, water department supposed to inform you as we're digging up in New Guinea, we're going to fix a broken pipe here. As soon as we're done, we want you to come back to come and patch it for us right away, without any delay. Why is that so? Why is that not happening? That can't be right to motorists. You see, this thing is going to cause accidents because everybody's trying to sidestep the holes in the road. Nobody wants to drive through them. Halfway Tree, New Guinea, Sandy Point. They're digging up, and they're not fixing back. That is not right. They need to patch back the road right away without any delay. And this is hurting, man.
Got you.
It's damaging our shop, our suspension, front end, costing us a lot of money and parts, spare parts. That's not right. It is not right. It cannot be right.
I heard you, my brother. I heard you. I heard you. I got you. And you are so right, because ironically, the water department, the public works department, they're all under one ministry. And that should not be. Caller, you're live. I'll take this, I'll make this my final call for the night. Call you live.
Yeah,
Let's call.
Tell that man, when he getting all like that, it is nothing else but repetition. Sounds bad. You should cut him off. Cut him off. Repetition. Make it point and God at that. Good night, I God.
Okay. You'll take this one, make this my final call. Call you live.
And yes, I will be very brief. Are you listening? Hello?
I always listen to you.
Thank you so much. I'll make this much briefer than the other one. I want to thank you. Only because I count myself fortunate to have lived at a time when organized protest galvanized an entire nation, not unlike what happened in America in the 60s, to complement the vigorous struggle that set ablaze our sacred motherland, Africa, in its determined quest for self-determination. The team we had was second to none. Today, surveying the treachery and internal dissension, I know that like me, you have suffered, and you must be utterly bewildered at what we have presently become. But you know something? I'm going to end on a positive note. I'm not dissuaded. God has no hands but our hands, no mouth but our mouths, and I'm doing my part. And I say unequivocally, let the present-day rulers slumber in the delusion that the plundering of our nation's coffers will continue unabated for want of an alternative. Dougie is gone. What are we going to say right now? He's the one who actually got our act together. But I'll remind the rulers who think we don't have an alternative that the graveyard is filled with seemingly, all of them thought, indispensable men, all of whom have been replaced. God has a way of saying, enough is enough. And Mr. Ambassador, if he can't do it, and he is not God. But tonight I want to remind the nation that he is verily God. And he continues keeping faithful watch over his very own. And one thing I know, we are blessed and favored by the Almighty. He will not, as Jesus expressly said, leave us as orphans. Wherever you are, take care first and foremost of your soul. It's important to me that you do, and stay connected to divinity. Good evening, folks.
That's the way we're gonna end it tonight, my straight up family, on that particular note, because my time is done and I am going to run and make way for Albert Bradley, who comes up next. He's already in the studio, so don't you move your dial. As I said from the beginning, it was a great feeling to be able to return home, even for a fleeting visit, a short sojourn, to enter without restriction, no quarantine. Just ensure that you're clean. COVID test, negative, it must be. Vaccinated, yes, you must be. To see the economy, entertainment, travel and hospitality, and life generally seemingly back to normal was a nice feeling. And we commend the health authorities, the COVID task force, and of course, the Team Unity government for its effective and efficient management of the COVID pandemic to date. The past 2 years were unprecedented and unpredictable. Yes, we had 40 deaths too many. Yes, we had several thousands of people confirmed positive. But yes, our vaccination rate is 82%, and that's good. But we need to continue to be vigilant, because the world is, and we live in a global village. You see what happened in Wuhan, China, how it affected us in St. Kitts and Nevis. Beware that we live in one global village. My Stray Dog family, I want to thank you for joining me tonight. I want to thank the many callers. I want to thank those on social media, Facebook, YouTube. Remember, Straight Talk is being on the Ian Patches Liburd platform now. I want to thank those on ZIZ Radio for their continuing support. Remember, you are the ones who make Straight Talk, and for that reason, I say a big, big thank you. Until we connect on Thursday for another edition of Straight Talk, be good to yourselves and all whom you meet, and enjoy the rest of your Valentine. And my straight up family, remember, whatever your mind conceive, that you will achieve. But first of all, you gotta believe. So when you wake in the morning, thank God for the morning light and thank Him for taking you through the night. And keep moving on. Bye-bye. Until we connect on Thursday.
The views and opinions expressed by the host or presenter and by participants are solely their current opinions and do not reflect the opinions of ZIZ Broadcasting Corporation, its shareholder, or its affiliates. The opinions of the on-air guests or participants are based upon information they consider reliable, but neither ZBC nor its shareholder nor its affiliates warrant their completeness or accuracy, and they should not be relied upon as such.
So whatever my mind conceive, that I will achieve, you better believe.
Whether it's a dress store on 4th Street, a snack